Hello, my name is Joshua and welcome to a video on this Deep Ridge channel. I watched 41 seasons of television in 2024, so today I thought I'd go and rank every season on a tier list. I've got it open on Tiermaker here. I'll leave the link to the tier list down in the description if you want to rank everything I've watched as well, if you've seen it. We're starting with Arcane. These two seasons are just basically perfect. I love these two seasons when I watched them in December. The first season does start off a bit weird, like it kind of throws you into everything and I wasn't that into it, and then the third episode happens and it just like it's insane and suddenly this show is like the most interesting and most engaging show I've ever watched. The animation's amazing, the voice performances are so good. Both of these seasons are basically equal. I think season 2 is a little bit overrated, but it's still like basically perfect. Baby Reindeer, there's another one I'm going to put in S tier. This is a really great miniseries based on true events about this guy who gets stalked, and it kind of goes into his psyche and how he was feeling at the time and what he did wrong, what he should have done better. And it's so crazy to think these events were like actually real. It's very scary. But it's a really well written show. So much like flair to it as well. Like Richard Gadd, who this story was based on, who plays the main character, he had a vision with this series and it's a very interesting vision. Clarkson's Farm 3, I give this an A tier. I really love Clarkson's Farm. I think the second season is the best season. The whole stuff with the restaurant opening was so tense. That whole season was just so stressful, but like in a really good way. This season isn't as stressful. It does get emotional at times. You got pigs. It's still really engaging and really fun, especially for a documentary. With Clarkson's Farm, there's always something going on, and Jeremy Clarkson is such like a charismatic guy, you know? He's so funny. So yeah, give it A tier. Dan to Dan, I give this a B tier, I think. I thought it ended in a very odd place. I want to see how season 2 does. I think if season 2 is really good, then it might bump up this first season for me. I think it's mainly because how the season ended. It's kind of odd. It feels like a mid-season episode and then it just ends. So it kind of feels like half a season. But I still really loved it. The character dynamics are great. It's extremely funny for an anime. Anime is not that funny a lot of the time. It's really not. But the jokes in here are so funny and well written, and so many weird and out of nowhere lines and weird characters who want to steal people's balls and penis and everything. Like, it's a crazy show. Demon Slayer Mugen Train. This one I wasn't the biggest fan of. I give it a C. I kind of checked out of Demon Slayer. I watched the first season in 2023 and I felt like it was way too overly long. And I know that's what anime is supposed to be. Like, a lot of animes drag a lot of things out a lot over multiple episodes, but with that first season of Demon Slayer, it was just like, it got to the point where it's like exhausting. I just wasn't as into it as I wanted to be. I think it's a good season, but it just felt overly long. And with this Mugen Train arc, I feel the same way. I don't know if it's because I watched it over multiple episodes, because I know there's a movie version of this and there's the episodic version, and I watched the episodic version, so I don't know if that kind of ruined the pacing of everything for me, but it just went on for a bit. I found the story to be a little bit forgettable. I don't think anything like major happened. I think a demon got onto the train, started killing everyone on the train, I think, and they went and stopped the demon, I'm pretty sure. I actually can't remember what else happened. I watched it months ago now, but it wasn't my thing, I'm not gonna lie. Fallout, I give it an A. This is a really fun show. I'm not the biggest fan of the games, mainly because I can't play them because I'm rubbish at games, especially like the massive open world ones where you have to like do your own thing and like there's no like directions or anything. Anyway, yeah, this show I thought was really great. I like how we follow this woman from the vault and how her worldview slowly changes as she exits the vault and sees like the real world for what it is. And there's so many great characters in here, like Walton Goggins playing the ghoul was really fun. You got like the mech suits in here, just so many fun like plot points. Yeah, I liked it overall. Give an A tier. Futurama, this is only season 4 and 5 because I watched seasons 1 to 3 in 2023, so this is kind of odd. But yeah, I think I put season 4 in B tier. I think I put season 5 in A tier. Season 4, I'm gonna have to check actually. I can't actually remember what episodes were in season 4. Season 4 you got Roswell That Ends Well. Okay. I don't remember a lot of these episodes, I'm not gonna lie. But I remember it being a good season. Season 5, I thought was amazing. Jurassic Park is a phenomenal episode. So good. I also thought, yeah, The Sting, one of my favourite episodes as well. Farnsworth Paradox was really great. There's a lot of like standout episodes in this season where I thought they were just so well written and just so great and emotionally heavy as well, which is shocking for like an animated sitcom. Game of Thrones! Most of the season is going in S tier. Season 1 is S tier. Such a strong start. Like all of these characters are introduced so expertly. Is this season 2? Oh god, I can't even tell which season is which here. Season 2, S tier. Season 3, S tier. Season 4 is my favourite out of all of them. Like it's a 10 out of 10 season, absolutely perfect. I think I'll add... Hang on. I'll go ahead and put Game of Thrones Season 4 in perfect. Season 5? I think Season 5 was a little bit of a step down, so I give it an A tier. Season 6, I felt like it was a step up again, so I give it an S tier. Season 7, B tier. No, I give it a C tier. The whole teleporting around thing did kind of get a bit distracting. I thought the first half was really strong, and then the second half, the pacing was so weird. Yeah, I don't know. And then Season 8, like, it's D tier. Like, you know it's D tier, bro. Like, it's not a good season at all. Invincible Season 2. This is going in S tier. I thought it was a really good Season 2. I've read all of the comics from front to back, so I know what happens. And I felt like they adapted the Angstrom Levy stuff really well. Everything plays out how I expect it to in the comics. The comics are really good, so the show's really good. I don't know what else to say. My Adventure with Superman Season 2, this was so forgettable. I don't remember a single thing from this season. It's just really, really forgettable, and I really didn't want it to be forgettable, but it was forgettable. You got the introduction of Supergirl, I think. She didn't do much. Regular show, all of these seasons there. I don't know how to put all of them. I think I put Season 1. I think I put all of these in S tier. I put most of them in S tier. I remember it taking a little bit of a dip in like some of these seasons here. I don't know. I'm really just guessing here because, like, there's so many seasons. Like, they all kind of blended into one at a point. But I love this show so much. It's one of my favourite shows. I put Season 7 and 8 back in S tier. The show finale was amazing. Like, I nearly cried. I did nearly actually cry. Heroes by David Bowie playing over that montage at the end was like actually so emotional, blood. Like I'm just getting emotional thinking about it. Like it's such a massive show, and I find that you follow these characters over such a long time, so that ending just hits so much harder. I think it is a show where we have to watch it in chronological order to really like respect that final season. Even though I do think a lot of the earlier seasons you can skip a few episodes here and there, but yeah, I love this show overall. Like I'm really fond of it now. Sherlock Season 1, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't care much for Season 1. I thought the first episode was really good, and then the second and third episode were just kind of forgettable. Season 2 I thought was kind of the same, but like the reverse. The first episode I thought was just forgettable and not really well written, even though some fans like more liked episode, I guess. But I just didn't like it that much. I thought episode 2 was really fun, and then episode 3 was amazing. Like I loved episode 3. So I don't know. I give it an A. I think the third season was my favourite season actually. I put it in S tier. It got Sherlock returning in there. I got the wedding episode there, and then Sherlock Season 4, it kind of fell off hard. I give it a D tier. It's not amazing. It just goes in a very odd direction. The season finale doesn't even feel like Sherlock anymore. It just feels like a completely different show. I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Smile and Friends, that's going S tier. It's such a fun show. The animation is so fun. Like I've never seen animation like it before. It's really creative. They use different animation styles as well, which is really cool. The characters are so great as well. My brother got a 3D printer for Christmas, and he printed off Mr. Boss. So I've got Mr. Boss right here, which is really good. It's so funny. Like, it's one of the funniest shows, periods, I think. Like, it's so funny. The characters are so iconic now as well. I got Season 1 as well because I rewatched Season 1 for Season 2. So I might as well, yeah, I'll include that here as well. Solo Leveling. I put it an A tier. I think it's a really different anime. It feels very Western for an anime. It doesn't have like the traditional like anime things where they drag out arcs like for millions of episodes, and there's some really like cringe writing in that. Like it's really presented like something America would make, if that makes sense. And it's really well done. It's a really interesting concept as well. This world that's really well built out. Ted, the show. I give this an A tier as well. It's a really funny show. I think the first 2 Ted films are really fun, especially the first one. I think the first one's great. The second one is a bit all over the place, but I still find it funny. So this show was kind of made for me, and I think it's the best out of the bunch. It's so fun going back in time to when Mark Wahlberg's character was like a teenager and seeing them in like school and that. It's really funny, and it plays like a sitcom as well, which is really great. And they play a lot of stuff straight as well. There's a lot of like serious moments and a lot of pretty decent character development from some of the side characters. And saying that, you'd think like, oh, the side characters are really stupid and forgettable, but like they're really good side characters, and they weren't in the movies as well. They were just like introduced for this show, and they're really good characters. The Bear Season 1. Is this Season 1? I don't know where Season 1 is. I think this is Season 1. Season 1, I give it an A tier. I think the characters were introduced just really well. The story's really interesting and great. There's just some really well written characters. I think season 2 is an S tier. I think everything comes together in that season really well. All the characters are fleshed out really well. And then season 3, I give it a B tier. It's kind of forgettable. There are some really standout episodes. There's an episode in season 2 which was literally perfect, like the flashback episode. Like, was it Thanksgiving or Christmas? I think it was. I can't remember, but it was done so well. Season 3, there's not as much standouts, but it's still like really good. I think people were hating on the season a little bit too much. It is a really good season. The Boys season 3. Speaking of a season that people were hating on too much, I give it a B tier, but I still think it was like really good, really well written. It goes in some interesting directions. I do think the gore was kind of like too much in this season. A lot of the times in the show, the gore has a purpose in the plot, but with this season, it just feels like gore for the sake of gore, and it's just like it gets a bit too much after a point. But I still liked it. I like where everything was going. I'm really excited for the final season. The Penguin, S tier. This season is so well written. So good. Colin Farrell is absolutely like unrecognisable as the Penguin. Like, there's so many well fleshed out side characters, so many well written side characters, especially Sophia Falcone. Such a good character. Everything has a purpose in the show. Like, everything comes back around again at the end. Like, oh, it's such a good show. Almost perfect. And then X-Men 97. I didn't like this season as much as everyone else, but I still think it's really solid. I don't know if it's because I haven't watched the original show, but it just didn't connect with me as much. But I thought it was really solid. All these characters are so great. The continuing story that goes on here is a really interesting story. I don't have much else to say. So yeah, that is all the shows I watched in 2024, ranked on a tier list. I didn't watch as much shows as I'd like to, I guess. I do want to watch more shows in 2025. So if you'd like to, leave a like.
Company, get things together. Bad company, get things together.